Mackenzie Johnston with Cattle News Central, bringing you your December 16th cattle industry headlines. Brought to you by Ag Risk Advisors. They provide risk management programs to livestock producers all throughout the West. Whether you are talking about weather or price risk, Ag Risk Advisors, they are here to help. With current day market fluctuations, there is nothing more important than locking in a price floor on your cattle. So if you'd like to learn more about an LRP, go ahead and reach out to an advisor today. Also sponsored by Circle 5 Cow School. If you're wanting to learn how to preg check your own cows or start AIing, Circle 5 Cow School is the way to go. They host remote courses almost every week from Texas to Tennessee. To view their schedule, head on over to circle5cowschool.com. That is the number 5 in there, or you can go ahead and just give them a follow on Facebook. Reuters has reported that on Wednesday, China's Customs Administration announced that it will now allow imports of some beef products from Brazil. So as we talked about over the last month, China halted Brazilian beef imports after 2 cases of atypical mad cow disease were discovered down in Brazil on September 4th. With the restoration of trade, Beijing has now resumed imports of Brazilian boneless beef products from cattle less than 30 months of age. When the news broke, JBS shares increased by 3% and Minerva's shares increased by 6%. Minerva, who was directly impacted by the ban, said that slaughter and beef production operations dedicated to the Chinese market would resume immediately. The meat giant sells beef to China from 7 different units down in South America with a slaughtering capacity of approximately 10,000 head per day. On the topic of Brazilian beef imports, the cattle range has reported that new findings relating Brazilian cattle production to deforestation in the Amazon have caused 6 European retail groups to restrict Brazilian beef purchases. According to Nico Musi, director of Mighty Earth, a Washington-based nonprofit, he said that this movement is a series of concrete commercial actions taken by some of the biggest supermarkets in Europe to stop buying and selling beef from a company and a country that have made too many promises and delivered too few results. Those alleged of wrongdoings include farmers and ranchers in Brazil who have sold cattle to JBS South America, Marfrig South America, and also Minerva South America. In response, both JBS and Minerva stated that at the time of purchase, the cattle that they were slaughtering were coming from environmentally friendly operations. Reuters has reported that in 2022, McDonald's is planning a major expansion of its plant-based burger, the McPlant, with Beyond Meat all throughout the United States. In November, the McPlant patty was tested at 8 different McDonald's locations here in the U.S. According to analysts, those restaurants have been selling about 70 McPlant patties per day, which is enough volume for the fast food company to want to expand the trial. Peter Saleh, BTIG analyst, expects the fake sandwich to be in about 700 restaurants across several different regions as a limited time offer in both February and March. And then the complete rollout in all restaurants is expected to happen in 2023. Speaking of plant-based products, Meeting Place has reported that Taco Bell has canceled Beyond Meat's carne asada menu item after samples did not get the response that the fast food chain was looking for. After the announcement from Taco Bell, Beyond Meat actually turned around and fired 2 of their employees that had been working on that fake carne asada menu item. Going forward, Taco Bell and Beyond Meat are working together to create a plant-based protein that's just as craveable as Taco Bell's current meat options, yet entirely new to the national QSR space. Despite McDonald's going forward with their Beyond Meat product and expanding all of that through restaurants across the U.S., things aren't all rosy for Beyond Meat. Their shares dropped more than 5% in early market trading on December 10th, just in that one day. And we've talked about in recent updates how they have struggled through the last year. There is no doubt about that. Drovers has reported that the U.S. Senate is slated to vote on Biden's Build Back Better bill before Christmas. However, ongoing negotiations might actually push that into 2022. The Congressional Budget Office, also known as the CBO, produced another new Build Back Better data set to provide a more clear picture as to the impact of the bill and what it will truly cost Americans. There are many that are saying that the CBO's new data set is misleading, but keep in mind, those that are saying that are strong supporters of the Biden administration and what they're all about. So, a little biased, I would say, but the CBO, this new report lays out really what it will cost Americans in the long run if this is actually passed, God forbid. The new data set shows that the Build Back Better programs extended through the 10-year window instead of having their cost hidden with arbitrary expiration dates would cost nearly $3 trillion more than advertised. So that would be a total price tag of $5 trillion. That figure is almost 3 times more than what the media is advertising. Talk about misleading. There are numerous programs falsely presented by Democrats within the Build Back Better bill. Some of these programs include child allowance, earned income tax credit expansion, and expanded healthcare subsidies. And trust me, there are many more programs that are falsely presented as the CBO states, but we cannot go through all those. We would be here all day. So with these three, starting off with the child allowance program, Democrats claim that it will only cost $185 billion because supposedly it's going to expire after 1 year. But you and I both know they're going to extend that, and it will actually end up costing $1.597 trillion over the next 10 years. The earned income tax credit expansion is supposed to cost $13 billion because they claim, again, it's gonna expire after 1 year. But the CBO says the real cost is $135 billion over 10 years because, again, they're just going to extend that program. And finally, the expanded healthcare subsidies, Democrats say that this will only cost $74 billion by phasing out these subsidies in 2025 and 2026. But the CBO says the real cost will actually add up to $220 billion. And lastly, when it comes to agriculture, ag provisions would authorize $94.4 billion in spending, but the CBO estimates that it will only $89.4 billion of that would be spent over the 10-year window. This Build Back Better bill, we've talked about it. It is outrageous, the money that they are wanting to pump out into our economy. The problems that our economy is facing and the financial situation that our country is already in with inflation is daunting. And then they want to pass this Build Back Better bill. They claim it will help. No, it will make things worse. It is ridiculous what they are bringing to the table. That is all I have for you guys this morning. I hope no one blew away yesterday. My gosh, when that weather rolled through, it was pretty darn gnarly. Have yourself a tremendous Thursday. I'll see you later.